Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the life of Adam and Eve, Part 2,
Electric Boogaloo Turbo Championship Edition Extreme, the Apocalypse of Moses,
chapters 34
through
43. There
finishing it.
We are,
Yes.
It's going to be the end of it.
Yes, we are finally finishing the lives of Adam.
The lives of Adam and Eve, yeah.
Yep.
So
we've already finished with the life of Adam.
Right. But this one, at least, we get the life of Eve. I mean, it's both of them still, but
and
this
I guess
one is from
a little
Eve's.
bit about the life of Seth.
Yeah, that too. This one will. I mean, so the last one was this. Was this the part where we were talking about? No, I think we covered it earlier. Where Adam was asking Satan, or where they asked Satan like why he was messing with them, and he was like, "It's because Michael kicked me out or something." Would that have already been?
I'm pretty sure that
narrative?
would have already been in the past.
All right. Well, either way. So yeah, I guess we didn't really hear too much about that in the Apocalypse of Moses.
Yeah. J Dollar Sign says,
Yes, you're right.
You can read.
That is proper. That
Yes.
is the proper response to our introduction.
Indeed, it is.
Because we're not even quite sure what we said.
Are we not sure?
Don't worry, you
No.
won't do it anymore.
Okay. If you say so.
All right, but either way, yeah. How about we hop into this? And it looks like, oh my God, Adam dies here. Oh no,
Oh, no.
I never would have seen that coming.
Well, let's see if we get like a Return of the Jedi Force Ghost scene with Adam.
I
after he
don't know what
dies.
that means.
Well,
You'll find out.
you'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Chapter 34. And this is Eve talking.
Yeah, this is still Eve talking.
And then I,
Oh, no.
Eve, saw two great and fearful mysteries standing before God. And I wept from fear and cried out to my son Seth, saying, "Rise, Seth, from the body of your father Adam, and come to me, that you may see things which no eye has ever seen."
Wow. Things that no one has ever seen.
Yes. Now, several manuscripts do not include the name Adam, so it would be rise from the body of your father.
Sure.
And several manuscripts also add at the end where it says, "You may see things which no eye has ever seen." They add, "and they are praying for your father Adam."
Oh, so the interpretation there would be angels.
Yeah, and angels would be engaged in prayer. As we've seen, angels engaged in prayer before.
They do everything humans do except in heaven.
Yeah, it's like the Hermetic philosophy of as above, so below.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So now we're in chapter 35.
That was a very, very quick chapter. Yeah.
Yes. And I guess this is not Eve talking anymore.
Oh, good. Good.
Then Seth got up and came to his mother. And he said to her, "What is the matter? Why are you weeping?"
Probably because
Life.
Adam's about to die.
Yeah, I mean,
That would make sense. Come on, Seth.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He's got no humanity.
No, none. She said to him, "Look up with your eyes and see the seven heavens opened, and see with your eyes how the body of your father lies on its face, and all the holy angels are with him, praying for him and saying, 'Forgive him, O Father of all, for he is your image.' So then, my child Seth, what shall this be? When will he be given over into the hands of our unseen Father and God?"
Probably very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Although, okay, so yeah, we'll take note at least of the seven heavens. Like we have had, I don't remember if it was in this book also, but we have had, would you call that part of it theology? I guess.
Yes.
With the idea of there being layers of heaven, and there are 7. According to this one, but then you go to like the apocalypse of Abraham, I think. I think that one has 10.
Enoch has 10 too.
Enoch has 10 as well.
So before I finish this chapter, I want to note that the E manuscripts do not contain several verses here, and they have a much shorter form of the text from here to the end.
Oh, wow.
But this last sentence of chapter 35 is very interesting. And who are the 2 dark-skinned persons assisting at the prayer for your father?
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Let's find out.
Dark-skinned persons, Ethiopes, literally Ethiopians.
Okay.
And manuscript G reads, instead of Ethiopes, Theoprosopoi, God-faced ones.
Okay.
So there's several interesting things that you could do from there. First of all, it establishes that Ethiopians exist.
Well, that is, but we did remember in, I forget in which translation it was, but it was said that Ethiopia was like right on the other end
Right.
of Eden, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I
it
forget
did
where
not
it is,
specify that there were dark-skinned persons.
Right, it did not. No.
So here we have black people,
Mhm.
right, who are existing concurrently with Adam and Eve. But beyond just that, if we use manuscript G and we take into account that probably manuscript G had some thing as its source, right? Then there may be a connection between God-faced ones and Ethiopians. Right?
Sure. I mean, I'm not. So hold on. Let me see the words again.
Yes, they are listed down here.
Well, I mean, I don't see they would look, not aside from the fact that they're both. No, yeah, they wouldn't even look like that much alike. So it's not like you could. One did probably come before the other, but I don't think they're like actually textually related. I'm guessing one is just an interpretation of the other.
Well, it's interesting too because the way that it's phrased, it's who are these 2 persons?
Yeah.
Right.
So either they're the God-faced persons, or they're Ethiopians.
Right. But in either case, these would be people, human beings, who are completely unknown to Eve. Right. And by virtue of being completely unknown to Eve, like they obviously would be of a different lineage than Adam and Eve, which goes into that that biblical theory that Adam is not the first man, but the first in the line that leads to Abraham, right?
Yeah. And it would also explain why there were people when Cain left. He found like a whole bunch of people
Right.
outside of the garden, or outside of his immediate family.
Absolutely. All right, chapter 36. Seth said to his mother, "These are the sun and the moon, and they themselves fall down and pray for my father Adam." So here, the Ethiopians are literally the sun and the moon.
So that is interesting. Or if you have the translation God-faced, then it would that would make sense too, because like I don't know if you're like some people living in the ancient past and you see the sun and the moon, these heavenly bodies, you would I could see you make that association, because I think prosopa, that word there where it says God-faced, the word there prosopa I know has been used to show it's like a character or a mask or a face that someone puts on. So
Here we might we might interpret this as like the radiance that is supposed to come from God, or here the sun and the moon, which are literally luminaries.
Yeah.
So like to kind of envision this, we might consider this to be Ethiopians who literally have like light radiating from them, right?
That seems like they should see a doctor.
Yeah. Major radiation poisoning.
Yeah, absolutely. So major.
Yeah.
Just the worst case of it.
And Eve said to him, "And where is their light, and why have they become dark?"
Wow.
Racist Eve.
So, okay.
Okay, why is Eve asking Seth these questions? One would think it would be Seth asking Eve these
You would think.
questions because
Eve asking anyone other than her son.
Or maybe like the angels that have just that you're currently looking at in the
You
heavens.
just ask them.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask the luminaries? Eve can't even talk to them.
so here I guess they did have radiance, right? But that is not present at this time, and they have become dark.
Dark, yeah.
Okay. So that's why black people exist, I guess.
Very interesting interpretation.
Wow.
I'm not sure how else to take this.
Me neither.
There are a bunch of references in the Bible to this stuff. So if you would, grab the ESV while I complete this. Seth said to her, "They are not able to shine before the light of all, and this is why the light is hid from them." Now, by the light of all,
Probably means like the light of God or light of the heavens, I'm guessing.
yeah, the Father of lights in
Okay.
several manuscripts.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to look up 5 different verses.
Okay, great.
First of all, Joel 2:10.
Joel, all right. Yeah, we didn't have to, Joel was pretty short, so we didn't really have to concentrate too much on it.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but my time is finally near.
Where the hell is Joel? Here it is. Okay. What was it? 2:10?
2:10.
All right. Joel 2:10. The earth quakes before them, the heavens tremble, the sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining.
So here's the sun and the moon being darkened. Now look at Joel 3:15.
Let's see. 3:15. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdrew their shining. Same thing. Okay.
Yes. Job 25:5.
All right. At least this one's a long book, so it should be easier to find. All right. So 25:5. Behold, even the moon is not bright, and the stars are not pure in his eyes.
And Revelation 8:12.
Ooh, okay, great. We're skipping ahead there.
Spoilers.
What?
Spoilers.
Okay, so Revelation 8:12. The fourth angel blew his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of their light might be darkened, and a third of the day might be kept from shining, and likewise a third of the night.
Yes, and the last reference is to Vita 28, and it says here, "You are the true light, shining above all lights, living life, incomprehensibly great excellence."
Okay, this seems like a very different interpretation of all the verses we just read.
Right. I think that the essence of it is that the power of God is such that it can darken the sun and moon.
Sure, yeah.
Right. But why this is attributed to Ethiopians or God-faced ones is mysterious at best.
Can I ask why space is cold, is closer to the sun? I guess it depends on where you are in space, right?
Because
but
there
also
aren't
heat.
greenhouse gases that are preventing
so heat
from escaping.
is an effect of how fast particles are moving in a certain area.
Yeah.
And the fact that there aren't that many particles per cubic meter or something, there's less activity, ergo less heat.
Yeah, like photons in the infrared can still transfer that energy, and you could call those spots in space hot. If you
Yeah, sure.
wanted. If you were there, they'd be hot,
Yeah.
but they're not intrinsically hot.
Yeah, because it's a vacuum and everything is it's close to a vacuum. Like everything is so spread out. It's there's nothing there to heat up considering what heat is.
Yeah, we're just gonna quick school these kids.
See,
Hey, someone asked a question.
In other words, hot girls, they have problems too. They're just like you, except they're hot.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to read one more chapter and then hand it off to you.
Okay.
It's a big difference.
We are in a new section. Adam's soul is taken up to the heavenly paradise. And there was a note before we get into chapter 37. Chapter 37 presupposes a distinction not so clear in Veda between body and spirit or soul. Death is the separation of the two.
Yes, without any heat, space is incredibly cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of that.
So,
By definition.
chapter 37. While Seth was speaking to his mother, an angel sounded the trumpet, and the angels who were lying on their faces stood up and cried out with a fearful voice, saying, "Blessed be the glory of the Lord over his works. He has had mercy on Adam, the work of his hands."
Finally.
An interesting...
That's all that Adam's wanted this whole time, basically.
Yeah. I guess the idea is that by killing him or causing his life to end, that ends the suffering that was a consequence of the curse put on him for eating of the fruit of the tree. And presumably, with an afterlife system, though that's not really clear in ancient Judaism, he would be returning to God or returning to paradise. Right? So this would be a merciful act, I guess.
Yeah, that's you can have we could ask a whole bunch of moral questions here, but it's not like it's not like this God character is like the most understanding, especially here, because like he knows how much fun Satan was having at their expense,
right?
And just was like fine. You'd think he would be held accountable.
Now, there is something interesting raised up here where Satan is removed from paradise. He literally has to possess the body of a snake in order to access it. So, like...
He had to have the snake,
or did he just choose to? Like, did he have to, or did he just choose to?
It's confusing.
It seems implied that he has to, but it's not clear. But he was expelled from paradise according to the Veda, right?
Yeah, because of not wanting to worship. In this book, it's different, and the Apocalypse is different.
Yes.
He just feels like it, I guess.
Yeah, and so this gives if we work with the assumption that upon death, Adam returns to paradise, right? Maybe the Garden of Eden, maybe not. But someplace inaccessible by humans, and also simultaneously, presumably, inaccessible by Satan. That
hopefully, I mean, otherwise Adam would be, pretty mad about that. He's like, "Hey, that's the guy. Why aren't you getting him?"
Right. But if it is inaccessible by Satan, then those features which were implanted upon Eve, the negative ones, the covetousness and such, would not be present there, which provides explanation for why heaven is so great, right?
Snake oil.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, continuing on here. When the angels had shouted out these things, one of the six-winged seraphim came and carried Adam off to the lake of Acheron.
Oh, okay. What is the lake of Acheron?
In Greek tradition, part of the stream over which the souls of the dead were conveyed to the underworld.
Wait, how's it spelled? Show me.
Acheron.
Huh. All right.
Yes. That Michael washes repentant sinners in Acheron is found in the Apocalypse of Paul 22.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't covered
Also,
that.
the Sibylline oracles
Oh, yeah, we have those in one of these
Yeah.
books.
and 3rd Baruch 10:2. And I need to check this because I don't remember this, but it says 1st Enoch 17:6.
I mean, I don't remember that the actual
Name.
the name being listed. Was it? You said First Enoch 17:6. Is that already after the?
I think that this
River
is a
Watchers?
reference. Yeah, they refer to a river of fire. Here.
Okay.
So, that river of fire is referred to continuously in the Enoch literature.
Yeah, but it wasn't named.
It wasn't named Acheron.
Yeah.
How's
So
that spelled?
Because they had a tradition. I mean, yeah, Lake of Fire traditions. They've been around for forever.
it's spelled Acheron,
Cool.
which is fairly close to Charon, the ferryman.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Rides the
Close-
river
yeah,
Styx.
close to that.
So there may be a similar linguistic link there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I am thinking of. I think it wasn't an attic. I think one of the attic orders was his name Acreon or something like that.
I don't think it's a reference to that.
No, I don't think it's a reference to that either. I am just trying to remember things that are similar to that name.
Okay. So he brings him to the lake of Acheron and washed him 3 times in the presence of God. 3 times is omitted in some manuscripts. He lay 3 hours. Also, most Greek manuscripts originally read days. Hours is written by another hand.
Okay.
This also occurs in the Testament of Job.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Testament of Job.
Yeah,
That-
you remember how the timing was significantly different between things based on whether it was hours or days or weeks.
yeah.
He lay 3 hours, and so the Lord of all, sitting on his holy throne, stretched out his hands and took Adam and handed him over to the archangel Michael, saying to him, "Take him up into paradise to the 3rd heaven, and leave him there until that great and fearful day, which I am about to establish for the world." So the 3rd heaven
Is where paradise is.
the E manuscripts do not have the words following paradise and take him up into paradise.
So
they don't reference the 3rd heaven.
I remember when we were going over, there were multiple apocalypses, right? That we went over that were talking about multiple layers of heaven. And I don't remember which one they listed paradise to be in. I remember it coming up, I think.
I don't know.
I don't remember which one
Can
it
you
was in.
grab your Bible and look at 2 Corinthians 12:2?
I can, yeah. Lucky for us, we got plenty of Bibles. So 2 Corinthians 12:2. All right. Yeah, I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the 3rd heaven, whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. All right, yeah, going up to the 3rd heaven. Okay.
The 3rd heaven.
He just didn't know. Okay, so he knew that he died, but he didn't know if he was ascended or not. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at
That's interesting.
the 3rd heaven in 2nd Enoch. And so the 3rd heaven, sweet flowering trees and fruits, sweet smelling. In the midst of the trees is the tree of life.
Oh, okay.
Where
So,
the
yeah.
Lord rests.
Lines up then. Okay.
So yeah, the 3rd heaven, it specifically names the paradise of Eden too.
Yeah.
So yes, Adam is taken to Eden.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I remember us talking about layers many times, and there were different descriptions for all of them, and also different numbers
Some
of
of them
layers.
sucked.
And the great and fearful day is about to establish for the world, probably at this time would be the flood.
Yeah. At the time that it's taking place, absolutely.
So presumably after the flood, something happens with Adam.
I guess maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe we're at least told.
And the Archangel Michael took Adam and brought him away and left him just as God told him at the pardoning of Adam. And that was chapter 37. Now, before we get into 38, which I will hand to you, I want to point out that manuscripts F and H do not have chapters 38 through 39.
No, okay, great. All right. But you know what? At least these do. This one does.
Yes.
All right. So now we're on to the burial of Adam's body. We'll see what kind of burial it is. So chapter 38. Now, after all these things, the archangel asked about attending to the remains. And God gave orders that all the angels should gather before him, each according to his rank. And all the angels came together, some with censers and others trumpets. And the Lord of hosts mounted up, the winds drawing near him, and the cherubim being above the winds, and the angels of heaven were leading him. And when they came to a place where the body of Adam was, they took it. And they came into paradise, and all the plants of paradise were stirred, so that all those born of Adam became drowsy from the fragrance, except Seth, because he was born according to the appointment of God. So, they all became drowsy. That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess this is telling of their imperfection through Eve, right? Whereas Seth doesn't have this happen because he's a special case.
He's a special snowflake.
Well, here's the thing. So, all the people, so like, once he's taken up into heaven and whatnot, and they, I guess, make some kind of incense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm guessing it means by it being stirred.
Well, yeah, the angels literally have censers with them for burning incense.
Yeah, so that's what they're making, I guess. So that all those born of Adam became drowsy from the fragrance except Seth. So people on earth would become drowsy.
Yeah, except those Ethiopians.
Right, they're fine. Yeah, all the people born of Adam would become drowsy.
Yes.
But Seth was not, because he was born according to the appointment of God. So maybe a reference to Genesis 4:25.
Genesis 4:25. Let me just pull that up here. I know we've had a lot of special exceptions for Seth in general.
Yeah, we really have.
Genesis 4:25 says, "And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. For God, said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew."
Oh, I see. Okay, so they really took some very extra special meaning to that.
Extra special.
Yeah. So because of that, he would have been okay. All right, so now on to chapter 39.
You sure?
Now, the body of
Are
Adam.
you sure?
What?
Are you sure?
You sure? Yeah, some of it's omitted. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be
Keep going.
chapter 39? We just read chapter 38.
Go ahead.
So now it's chapter 39.
Yeah.
Okay. Making me question everything. Now the body of Adam was lying on the ground in paradise, and Seth was mourning greatly over him. Even though he had just asked his mom, like, "Hey, why are you crying?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But now that Adam's in literal paradise, now he mourns.
Right. Now he's probably, he's probably just jealous. Because Seth hasn't been to paradise.
It's strange because the order of events here is very odd. Obviously, Eve and Seth have previously been barred from entering paradise.
But so of course everyone would know that he's dead because of that incense, right?
Right, but show me the wording here.
Well, I don't think it was saying that he was like looking at him or something. He just knew that he was.
He was mourning greatly over him.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't.
Yes, that doesn't mean that he is
like literally standing
above
over
him.
Yeah.
He's just sad about it. So I guess here, like, the idea is that now his father is literally gone.
Yeah, yeah. And the Lord said, Adam, why did you do this?
Lord said, Adam?
He said, Adam, why did you do this? If you had kept my commandment, those who brought you down into this place would not have rejoiced. Interesting.
Rejoiced is in the funeral rites, right? He would not have died, and this would not make it reasonable to engage.
No, that'd be
funeral.
a weird modern translation.
It is a weird modern translation, but keep in mind that within the Jewish custom, as we've gone over before, there were like musicians and shit who would play at funeral processions.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
So in a manner of speaking, we could say rejoice, but it's not like a celebration of death, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, he's talking to Adam, though. Anyways, yet now I tell you that their joy shall be turned into sorrow, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. And when that happens, I will establish you in your dominion on the throne of your seducer. Oh!
So
he's going to take Satan's place.
yes, he will literally take Satan's place.
Probably as a judge.
Yeah.
Because that was Satan's job.
Right. Wait. So that's interesting because we do have a Satan, Hashaitan, who is in heaven, who communicates with God in the Bible, in the book of Job, which certainly happens after the flood, which if he's referring to the flood when he says the horrible thing that I'm going to make happen soon, right?
Yeah.
Then this would mean that after the flood, Adam is taken out of paradise and takes Satan's place. So the Satan
Would be Adam.
Yeah, it would be Adam.
If you were to accept this, yeah, the Satan in the book of Job would be Adam, yeah.
Yeah. And potentially also the Satan in like the temptation of Jesus and other things.
So
like,
I guess
it's not really clear.
There's a very good reason, I guess, then that this is not not canonical.
Right. It would mess everything up.
It would. Or at least it would make it a hell of a lot more interesting.
Right.
So, where were we? Right. He's going to put him in place of in place of Satan. But that one shall be cast into this place so that you may sit above him. Wait, so, this is him being literally in the grave now.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so hold on. Now they're not talking about him in paradise.
Mm.
So his soul would be in paradise.
Yes.
And his body is now in the grave. And he's talking to him in the grave. So being down here would be in the grave. Right. So maybe when it does say that Seth is mourning greatly over him, it does mean literally.
No, because Seth would not be allowed into paradise where Adam's body is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because he's laying on the ground in paradise. Yeah. So, yeah. But either way, he's being buried here. Okay. Yeah, but that one shall be cast into this place so that you might sit above him. Then he himself and those who listen to him shall be condemned, and they shall greatly mourn and weep when they see you sitting on his glorious throne. I bet. But yes, Adam is here. His body, at least, is in paradise. But he's on the ground.
Right.
which is, yeah, I guess with their layers of heaven thing, he's going to cast Satan down, and Adam is going to take Lucifer, or I guess, sorry, not Lucifer, Satan's, to be more specific, because Lucifer is something else. Satan, Adam, I can't talk. Adam will take Satan's spot in some different layer of heaven.
Right.
Yeah. Probably as his judge, because that was Satan's job.
And perhaps he'll be transfigured in the same way that Enoch is in third Enoch, or even second Enoch.
But yeah, well, so when I said that it was Satan's job, so if you look back at all the other biblical texts, it's pretty clear that the Satan character, Satan, the Satan, it just means the adversary, and from existing material, it looks like Satan was God's judge over the earth. Like, he would go around judging and accusing people of things. That was essentially that job. There's been a whole bunch of scholarship done on this. Like, that's not like a fringe idea.
Did we make a video on that?
I have not made a video on that.
I'm like, it's a good idea. That'd be very popular.
I don't know if it'd be very popular, but
the name just is algorithmically sound.
Satan's job, and I have him in like a fucking lawyer suit or some shit. No.
Yep. Yeah. No. Seriously, that's. Fucking write that down.
No, but like a whole bunch of scholarship has been done on that. Like, that's not like some fringe idea. So, so in the early days of, in the very early days of Jewish history, that was the conception of Satan. But obviously that did change over time.
Right.
So by the time you get to, Revelation, it's not that anymore, but that's what it was before.
This makes sense with Adam then, because Adam is one of two human beings who have eaten from the tree
of knowledge of good and evil.
Knowledge of good and evil, and within the life of Adam and Eve, like, effects of doing so, they literally have privileged information about like past and future events. So like, besides God, they would probably Adam and Eve would probably be the most suited to do judgment, right?
Maybe not Eve so much, right? Because she's probably still cursed.
She's poisoned with covetousness.
Yeah, poisoned with covetousness. Yeah. So, let's continue on here. Yeah, they're gonna switch places and all that. So on to chapter 40. Then he spoke to the Archangel Michael. Go into paradise in the third heaven. Interesting. Considering that they should already be there, right?
Right.
So maybe there's something missing here.
Well, maybe God can speak. Well,
maybe
remember, different manuscripts don't include 38 and 39.
Right. That's a good point.
So perhaps those were later additions.
Maybe, yeah. So then he spoke to the Archangel Michael, go into paradise in the third heaven and bring me 3 cloths of linen and silk. And God said to Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, cover Adam's body with the clothes, or with the cloths, and bring oil from the oil of fragrance and pour it on him. And thus they did and prepared his body. And the Lord spoke, let also Abel's body be brought. And they brought other linens and prepared him also, since he was unattended from the day when his brother Cain murdered him. So now they are finally giving a proper heavenly burial to Abel.
Yeah, I guess it couldn't be done until after Adam died.
I guess, yeah.
This is interesting here. First of all, I guess they have cloth trees in paradise where like fully formed linens grow that you don't have to weave or anything.
No, maybe they're just like really good at weaving. They're like speed weavers.
Maybe.
Or there's an angel that just speaks
Like
it into
spiders.
being. There's just a specific angel whose job it is.
Maybe,
to
'cause,
speak
yeah, the-
cloth into being.
There are a lot of very obscure angels with a lot of very obscure powers. So maybe that was one of them.
Yeah, but
Get Cloth Telio. He's the guy. He's the angel who can speak cloth into being. Yeah.
so like several things happen with this funeral procession. First, Adam is washed. Second, Adam is placed in paradise.
Yeah.
Third, Adam is anointed with fragrance and covered with linens.
Yeah.
So,
And you got the oil. Yeah.
yeah. So there's like a definite procession of funerary rites that's occurring here. It seems to be highly ritualistic.
Yeah, and the archangels themselves are doing it.
Yeah.
By the way, they're getting Abel as well. For the evil Cain took much care to hide Abel's body, but could not. For the earth did not receive the body, saying, I shall not receive another body until the mound of earth, which was taken from me and formed. Wait, hold on, what? Yeah, until the mound of earth, which was taken from me and formed, shall come to me. So, yeah, until
Abel died.
until
Sorry,
Adam died.
Adam.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Adam is literally
Formed from the earth.
From the earth.
Yeah.
Yes. But presumably this should also only happen when Eve dies, because Eve is comprised of Adam's rib, which is part of that mound of earth.
You would think.
It should both be dead before that happened.
Then the angels took up the body and set it on the rock until the time his father died. And both were buried according to the command of God in the regions of paradise, in the place from which God had found the dust. So back to where he made them, I guess. And God
Literally dust to dust.
Literally, yeah. And God sent 7 angels into paradise, and they brought many fragrances and set them in the earth. And so they took the 2 bodies and buried them in the place where they dug and built.
So here, God is actually enacting Adam's request that he gives when he's kicked out of paradise, that he be able to take plants of paradise to carry the fragrances of paradise with him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it said that he was allowed to do that. Didn't he?
Yeah, but here it's like directly fulfilling the request by taking fragrances of paradise and putting them on him.
That is true. Yeah. So now we're getting into the final 3 chapters here. I don't know if you wanted to take those or if you wanted me to.
Yeah, give them to me.
All right. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, so we're hopping into chapter 41. But you know what? Hey, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like. All of your interaction helps with the stream in some way. So likes, shares, just comments, just saying hello.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Not like that, but in other ways, you know, like a normal person, you could do that, and that does help with viewership. More interaction equals more popping up in suggested
I'll just
feeds.
keep saying hello randomly.
Oh no,
terribly
I
throughout the
sure
stream
hope you
just for
don't.
you.
Please stop.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi.
Yep. Chapter 41. And God called Adam and said, Adam, hello, can you hear me? The reception's pretty bad here. Adam. No, he just says, Adam. And the body answered from the ground and said,
Behold.
Here
I am.
Oh shit.
Lord.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. This is
I was hoping to be behold.
Now, this is a common motif, right? When God calls out to someone, he says their name twice, and they respond,
Here I am.
Here I am, right? And the Lord...
It's like when a teacher's calling on you
Yeah,
in class for attendance.
Don't tell him.
because teachers think that they're gods.
that is the connection. Yes.
Yes. And the Lord said to him, I told you that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Now I promise to you the resurrection. I shall raise you on the last day in the resurrection with every man of your seed, which I guess wouldn't include those Ethiopians.
That is true. It wouldn't.
Pretty heinous. I guess the other god of a different aeon would make a similar
he'd deal
promise.
with them,
maybe.
yeah. Although, yeah, so this had to be, a later text then because it has that kind of resurrection idea in it.
Right. And, even within Second Temple Judaism, the Sadducees rejected the idea of bodily resurrection. So this is something that almost certainly would have to have been developed.
It had to be at least after like the
Establishment of
century.
rabbinical Judaism.
It had to be definitely like probably like around or like probably like during the 2nd century and afterwards, BCE, I should say.
As we've established.
So like around the time like of Daniel, perhaps.
Yeah. Or after.
Or after, yes.
Yeah. Chapter 42. After these...
Oh, I heard that's the
meaning of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finally got there, guys.
Get there all the time.
After these words, God made a triangular seal and sealed the tomb in order that no one might do anything to him for 6 days when his rib would return to him.
Oh, so when Eve dies, then I guess people can do stuff to his body.
But here, like, God
triangle
literally
seal.
makes a magical seal.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
What kind of seal do you think it is?
a triangular one.
Well, that's kind of weird. I've seen different shaped seals before, but not a triangle.
Well,
There are some triangle seals in medieval occult manuscripts.
or is Chris switching this up with the sea creature, a seal?
That's correct. That's right. That'd be a very weird looking seal. No, I'm sure there are plenty of seals that are triangles. Just
Yeah.
not the
Not
creature,
the not the wildlife kind.
Then the Lord and the angels went to their place. Now, where it says that, manuscript D says that. Others read, and when the benevolent God and the holy angels had committed him to this place after 6 days, and after 6 days, Eve also died. This may be linked with the rabbinic interpretation of Genesis 1 through 2, that Adam was created on the first day of creation and Eve on a Friday.
Oh, okay. Hey, wait, do we say happy birthday or?
No, it's just a day of the week.
Yeah, it's not as specific.
We don't make.
No, I don't know, but like happy.
I guess maybe like the first Friday of January.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's how time works. Yeah.
Definitely. So this is still chapter 30 or 42.
42. Okay.
But for some reason there's an indentation. So while living, she herself wept about her death. Well, manuscript D reads wept about the death of Adam.
Oh, okay. But either way, she was sad.
Yeah. Because she did not know where her body was to be placed. For while the Lord was in paradise when they buried Adam, both she and her children slept, except for Seth, as I said. So the reference is to Apocalypse of Moses 38:4, where in 38:4 it says they came to paradise. They became drowsy because of the fragrances. So, as I said. And Eve, in the hour of her death, implored that she might be buried where Adam, her husband, was, saying, "My master, Lord, and God of all excellence, do not separate me from the body of Adam."
It'd be nice if
some manuscripts say, "Do not separate me, your servant."
She's okay. So she I can't talk. She is obviously pretty distraught about not knowing where she's going to be buried.
Right.
The least God could do is tell her that he's got it under control or something.
Mm-hmm. For you made me from his members, but rather consider me worthy, even me, unworthy and sinful, to be buried near his body. And just as I was with him in paradise, and not separated even after the transgression, so also let no one separate us now. Therefore, after she prayed, she looked up to heaven, rose, beat her breast, and said, God of all, receive my spirit. And immediately she gave up her spirit to God.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wasn't it supposed to be a few days?
6 days, yes.
Was this already, has it already been 6 days?
I guess.
All right,
it's
then.
implied. But the E manuscripts end here with a statement that Eve's sons buried her body with the body of Adam, and there is a brief doxology.
Okay.
Now, chapter 43 and the final
The
chapter.
final chapter of the Apocalypse of Moses.
Yes. And the lives of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, that too.
When she had died, the archangel Michael stood by, and 3 angels came and took her body and buried it where the body of Abel was.
Wait, hold up.
So in the third heaven?
So, okay, no. Okay, so you would have multiple options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he just kind of... So Abel's body was initially left somewhere on Earth because the Earth wouldn't let Cain bury it, right?
Right.
So-
but both,
so then in
both
heaven-
Adam and Abel were buried in paradise.
Right, exactly. So it's interesting that...
Well, because Adam is taken after a certain amount of time, right? This doesn't occur to Abel, and it doesn't occur to Eve, right? Adam takes the throne of Satan.
Yeah, but that's... it doesn't say that he actually finally did that because they were, in fact, buried.
No, but if he were buried with Eve, there might be an implication that Eve also would have some kind of transfiguration. But I think it's making the case here that Eve does not have that, just like Abel does not have that, where that is something specific to Adam.
Right. But the thing is, the body was specifically, Adam's body was specifically left there, and God put the seal on it until Eve died, so Eve could return and be buried with him.
Right.
That
So the
was the point
seal
of the
is
seal.
in place until they can be reunited. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
So-
says that she was buried in Abel's place.
Right. Maybe these are all the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's true. So did they take out Abel's body and switched it?
No, they
out?
brought it up to the third heaven.
I guess we'll find out.
I remember them doing that earlier.
I don't know.
They didn't take either body, and well, the third heaven is Eden.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like the special place where Adam is hidden with the seal. I
Right.
guess they're
That's still
both
on Earth, though.
no.
Oh,
No, that's in
Eden.
Eden.
Okay.
And the thing is, the seal was specifically placed there by God until Eve could reunite with him.
Right. But I guess reuniting with him might just mean that she has also entered into the Garden of Eden again.
I guess potentially that'd be weird,
They're both
especially
in
to
the
put a
same-
seal on that grave, though. Like, I feel like that wouldn't be necessary unless.
Well, it wouldn't be necessary at all.
Well, right. I guess that's true. But that wouldn't make much sense to have it on the grave specifically. Unless the kind of magic is like if I'm trying to draw some parallels here, it would be like whenever something happens, this grave will, like, let's say in this case, whenever Eve enters the garden, whatever the seal is closing would open up, and then Adam can leave, I guess.
Well, hold on.
I don't know.
Adam,
Because he's supposed to resurrect
Adam
later
and
in the Day of
Abel-
Judgment.
Adam and Abel are both buried in like the same spot.
Yeah.
Now, there isn't a special movement of Adam's body. God just talks to the body, and the body responds to him from underground, and then God puts the seal on the area of the tomb. So, like, this is still the same place. It's just that the area had not been interrupted or anything until Eve died.
Okay. So Eve messing things up again?
And the archangel Michael said to Seth, "Thus you shall prepare for burial each man who dies until the day of resurrection." The D group, F, G, and H, add with variants. Upon giving him this law, the archangel departed from Seth, saying to him something. And do not mourn more than 6 days. On the 7th day, rest and be glad in it, for on that day both God and we angels rejoice in the migration from the earth of a righteous soul. Manuscript G ends here, in which God rested from all his works, so to him be glory and power forever and ever. Amen. Other manuscripts read, do not mourn for 7 days, for in it God and we angels rejoice. And when he had said these things, the angel went up into heaven, glorifying God and saying, Hallelujah, to whom be glory and power forever and ever. So this is where manuscript D1, this is manuscript D1. All manuscripts, in addition to the Aramaic and Slavonic, have variant endings. Tischendorf printed that of manuscript C, he went up to heaven glorifying and saying the Hallelujah, holy, 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 Lord, to the glory of God the Father.
Yeah, I think that was in, what book was that, in Isaiah? Or was that in the Psalm? I forget where it was. But it's where...
This is something that the seraphim do.
Yeah. That's exactly what they say.
Holy.
And
exactly,
worship with his eternal and life-giving spirit, both now and eternally, forever and ever. Amen.
Existence is pain. Holy.
The Trisagion is found also in D2, D3, D5, M1, M2, and H. The ending of manuscript G is given in some other source. But
all right.
Okay, so that is the end of the Apocalypse of Moses.
Yeah, what... here, give me that.
Yeah.
All right, the question is, what are we reading next?
Well, I think the first question is final thoughts on the Apocalypse of Moses.
You know...
And the life of Adam and Eve in general.
I think they were better than a lot of the stuff we've read.
Really, really low bar.
Yeah. They included some cool stuff we can look into. They had, Satan getting kicked out of getting kicked out of heaven, for multiple reasons, I guess, depending on which one you're reading. And it's interesting thinking that Adam is going to be replacing Satan at the probably at the day of judgment, right? Mm-hmm. Because I guess judging would be so much different in that era.
You're right.
Than before. So it would make sense that he would that someone would replace Satan.
Yeah.
His place in heaven.
Yeah, I think that it's generally more interesting than the account that we got in Genesis of the Adam and Eve story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
they had time to think about it and make changes. So it probably was, Otto more interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will rate the Apocalypse of Moses as...
Are we rating them as a whole, or are we just doing the Apocalypse of Moses?
First the Apocalypse of Moses, then them as a whole. So,
okay.
Apocalypse of Moses, 7.5, 8.
Yeah, probably doing 8. It had enough interesting stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But them as a whole, 7.5. Right.
Closer,
it's,
yeah.
It's not like the Vita is not as good.
It has, yeah, they have plenty of interesting things in them, but like as a whole narrative, it's not too great. Actually, I would say I actually think I liked the Vita better because it had more of a story and it had because it had the whole thing with Satan and Adam getting into it over why he's such an asshole.
Right. There is a better confrontation with Satan there.
I think if they were, mixed together appropriately, they kind of are about the same things anyways.
Yeah.
They are a good story put together. Yeah. Actually, I think put together is where they're the strongest. So there's my opinion.
So what are we reading next?
I don't know.
There's a lot that
Wasn't
we
there
could
the
do.
Apocalypse of Paul or whatever? They were just talking about something with Paul. We could just
there's plenty of well, the thing is,
No.
if we're gonna start with New Testament stuff, there's a lot cooler New Testament stuff that we should read
We're
first.
doing Old Testament Pseudepigrapha.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to do New Testament stuff, we would look at something like the Proto-Evangelium of James.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Like there's way more interesting stuff than the Apocalypse of Paul.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But we've been talking about it for a while. Why don't we do the Sibylline Oracles?
It is pretty long. There's a lot of stuff that I think we'd have to cover for that. But okay, yeah, sure, we can do the Sibylline Oracles. Here, let me see.
They're in.
Oh, they're in here. Okay.
Yeah.
They're in the other volume.
Yeah. So let's see what these Sibylline Oracles are all about.
Yeah, they are long. Let's see. There's Enoch, Sibylline Oracles. Here we go. So this is not broken up into chapters. This is in lines and in books, similar to epics.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't need to break it down into chapters for the show. We can do like line 1 through 120 or whatever.
Yeah. So this is strangely put together. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, I want to say that there are 4 books. Let's see, book 4, book 5, book 6. I was wrong. We got now we're to book 8. There was a whole bunch of them. But either way, let's see. For the first one, the first book itself, not super long.
2 videos.
Maybe, yeah, probably 2 videos. 2 weeks on that one.
Book 1, part 1 and 2.
Well, sure. Yeah, I'll make sure to. We'll try to break it up for you in a way that makes sense. But we got some Noah stuff. Let's see. Multiple generations, classic. We got 7th generation, the Titans. That'll be interesting. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to cover with the Sibylline Oracles. I've covered them in some videos before. Lots of because they were like Sibyls were like prophetesses. I think that would be a proper way to say. Proper thing to say. So there are a lot of references to actual historical events in some of these books, especially the later ones. So we will have to tie those in together. I think I did cover at least one of them in my video on Revelation, though.
All right. Well, there's a lot of stuff that we can go through in there.
Sorry. One thing in the chat about Lucifer and all that. So Lucifer, I know there's that section in Isaiah, right?
It's a reference to the morning star. That is.
But it was supposed to be they're talking about it's not a name. It's
an allegory.
Yeah.
It's more of an insult.
It is, yeah, because they're calling the king of Babylon. I think they were saying that he was getting too big for his own britches. Like he was reaching for the stars, but then he fell. Like he was trying to have more power than he could possibly handle. So he fell from atop that mountain. because of his greed or his pride or whatever.
Right.
So
it's like, oh, morning star, right?
Yeah.
Because the morning star pops up, you know.
That's the first one that
Yeah.
pops up. Yeah, it's the bright one. So that's where that comes from. Lucifer didn't become like used as a proper name until later.
Yeah, I think it's more of a Catholic thing than anything, really. And at least the Catholics seem to place like a huge
Like the whole
huge focus on Lucifer as Satan.
Yeah, exactly. But they were different things entirely. So
But like Catholicism is kind of a different thing entirely.
Fair enough.
Too. They literally they'll say that they don't worship saints, but then they will
They kind of
literally
worship
pray
saints,
to
yeah.
saints. They'll say that they don't do idolatry, but their churches are filled with idols.
Oh, hey, this is actually kind of cool because this section, Sibylline Oracles, look who wrote it. J.J. Collins. Yeah, there we go. So J.J. Collins, if you don't know, is like a leading scholar of apocalypticism. So really excited to get into that then.
Yeah,
because it's really good stuff.
If it's also, it looks like the notes are, they're not really explanatory notes. There are some in there. They seem all right. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to have an extra book of commentary on the Sibylline Oracles.
Probably not.
Probably not. Unless someone wants to email us at milwaukeeatheist@gmail.com and offer to buy us one, in which case we'll add it to the Amazon wish list.
Yeah, I can just if you guys know of a good one, we'll just put it on the Amazon wish list. So
yeah. So you know what? That being said,
Sibylline Oracles it is.
Sibylline Oracles it is. Now, next week, well, not next week, but on Sunday, we're going to be continuing with John.
Yes.
So those of you who are interested in canonical books of the New Testament.
Wait, hold on. See if you can find the other one, Chris. The new one still isn't on there?
It's weird. It's just weird.
Scroll all the way up. Still not really up there? Because that's unfortunate if it isn't.
Yeah.
But you know what you can do? We still have that the picture up on OBS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what we can do is throw that on there. If you want to do that. So this is design on our new shirt. We can't pin that shirt because it's not popping up, but I think it looks pretty cool. The Church of Piety. You get it? You get it. So that's a pretty damn cool design. If you want that on a shirt, or I think we should actually put it on posters too. I think it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, we haven't really done posters.
We haven't. I think it'd be interesting. So you can just go to our Teespring for that. I mean, you can probably pin the.
Speaking of our Teespring, you can click the pinned merchandise thing, the shirt here, and it'll take you to Teespring.
Yeah, and if for some reason it did pin, but sometimes it doesn't pin. So. Yeah. The link's in the description.
Yeah. Now we also have a Patreon if you want to be on the show, if you want to be in our hangouts, if you want to
t-shirts.
Yeah, t-shirt giveaway, all sorts of cool stuff on there.
Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. So this Sunday we're going to be doing if you become a patron of $10 or more by this Sunday, you'll be entered into a t-shirt giveaway where we spin a wheel and you can win a t-shirt.
Yep.
It's not rigged, we promise.
It's not rigged, although sometimes it definitely seems like it's rigged.
Yeah.
But it's not, we
That's
promise.
That's random for you guys.
I know.
So, I mean, in addition to that, we have our Amazon wish list full of books.
Yeah, lots of them.
Yep. You can add to the table for your own enjoyment.
Or or you could add to our libraries so we can read them and use them as sources in long form videos.
Yeah.
Documentaries, I guess.
Or you can buy them for us and we'll use them as paperweights and
we
coasters.
probably won't. God, I sure hope we don't use them as fucking coasters. Shit.
Well, we could use the Oxford Companion to the Bible
that one's
as a
different.
coaster.
That one's different.
Yep. Yeah. So
By the way, that's all the stuff that we have for you. All links to everything we said are in the description below.
Lawrence diss tracks
Yes.
to MilwaukeeAtheist@gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see those diss tracks. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on Sunday
and then
for
Friday,
John.
and then Sunday,
We're
and then
continuing
Friday,
that.
and then
the
Sunday,
last
and then
gospel in the
Friday,
New
and